Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. First, I want to apologize for the shorts. It was warm. It's the pandemic, so I don't care, despite the fact that my legs reflect more light than the moon. Literally, I think this is the first time I've worn shorts in 2 years. All right, anyway, so we're continuing to work on the mold. So we've got the fiberglass all done. We've got it sanded. And while that can be done to, a decent smoothness, we need to make this thing perfectly smooth. So, what we have here is a two-part epoxy fairing compound from Total Boat. All that really is, it's the exact same epoxy that you use to put fiberglass and anything else on. It's just filled with tons of micro balloons and coloring. Right, so the idea behind it is you mix the blue and the yellow equally, and it turns out green. And you know it's just right when it turns to like a nice neon, well, not neon, but like that shade of green right there. So again, it's just epoxy with filler in it, right? And the idea behind it is we're going to cover this entire armrest in this stuff. And you want to make it as smooth as humanly possible. You want to get down into all the little crevices and nicks with the goal in mind of make this thing as smooth as humanly possible. We will make it nice and smooth, fill in all the cracks. And it's okay if you leave a little bit of extra in places because this stuff gets sanded. You know, especially around the curves. It's okay if you put a little bit extra around the curves because you will be going through and sanding this stuff. So once it's on, we're going to go ahead and let it dry, and then we're going to sand, and then we're going to go and look for imperfections, and then we're going to apply some more and resand again. Now, it's okay, and here you can see through the magic of video, it's all nice and done. So what I've got here is I've got some 220 grit, and I might even move to some 320 grit. The idea is that you just want to make this thing as smooth as possible with an epoxy outside. That way, when you go to make the molds around this plug, they will be perfectly smooth on the outer layer, which is what you want. All right, while that's going on, let me get some Q&A. Someone was asking about what is the investment on the panel that you have so far. It's a lot. It's roughly about 1/5 of the total cost of the plane, I think, probably at about 24 to 26 at the moment. It's a full G3X panel, but it's an IFR panel, so I did elect to go with the GNX 375 WAS radio. It's great because it'll allow for IFR flying, adds to resale, obviously, and more safety. Without it, it would have been, I don't know, 17, 18. So, yeah, for a fully equipped panel, expect to pay something like that. About the price of a good, basic Golf. Okay, so one thing about, let's see, wait, did I have any other Q&A? No, I don't. Do I have any rants? Well, I'm pretty sure I do, but I got to cover this stuff. All right, so as you're sanding this fairing compound off, it's perfectly normal if you start to see some of the original fiberglass show through underneath, right? If that fiberglass was raised up when you were putting it on, or if there was an imperfection in the mold, then of course it's perfectly normal to see it come through the fairing compound, because although the fairing compound is covering everything else, wherever there might be a small raised bit, it will pop through. Again, perfectly fine. It's normal. As long as you can sand that thing smooth, then that's all that's important. Here you can see me going through some of and repatching some areas where it was definitely very light. Right, so once we put the fiberglass on, right, we're going to use this fairing compound. We're going to do this in one stage, and then once we're happy with this, then we're going to go over with an epoxy primer, which again, that's just a paint primer with epoxy in it, which of course you can sand. But that will be the full outer side, which is very strong, and we'll be making molds directly on that. Oh yeah, you know what? Actually, I do have a small rant. No, I can't. I can't even go into it. It's just another rant against someone in the club that's stupid. Uh, if if I had to rant every time I found one of those, that's all I would do. I'm just going to go with people suck, and you're just going to have to live with it. Trust me. Trust me. It's as bad as you think it would be. And here's a nice thing. So once you actually have that stuff, once that thing is set, we're at the stage where you can clean all of this off with acetone, right? It's not going to degrade the fairing material, the epoxy, or any of that. It's pretty hard stuff. And okay, there you go. This is a perfect example. There is the mold to the right, and to the left you saw the original mold. You can see how it's the exact same shape. It's just a little bit taller. I'm not actually going to be using the full length of the mold. Well, we are and we aren't. That's a long story, which I'll save for you for next time, because I I still have to talk to my therapist about it. This whole thing goes. It doesn't go south, but you'll see where it goes in a couple of videos. All right. Thank you for joining me, everyone, in the next video, where I think we're going to get around to actually putting the epoxy primer on. So, have a great Monday, and see you soon.